Everything looks fine so far. Let's keep going. If we go back to the instructions, the next step is to hide the remaining tables and just keep continents and economic indicators. And also we need to delete all auto-detected relationships. Let's go back to Power BI Desktop. Let's go to Model View. And then here, we only care about continents, and the other queries, we need to hide them. And then also we care about economic indicators, so we don't touch it. If we go back to the report view, now we can see only two queries, continent and economic indicators. And then just to follow the instructions, continent should be continents in plural, okay? So let's go back to Power Query, and they should be continents. Close and apply. Next step is going to be to remove the auto-detected relationships. We could have done this. If you go back over here, go to Options and Settings, Options here, Data Load. And like I said, another option could have been to uncheck this box right here, the auto-detected new relationships after data is loaded. We can do it right now, but still we have to remove the relationships that are already there. So let's hit OK for now and see what happens anyways. Let's remove these relationships quickly. Right click, delete. Perfect. So let's go back to the report view. And then let's start creating our first visuals. So we're going to be creating a population cluster bar chart, and we're going to be using implicit measures in our visuals, okay? Get this option right here, and then go to the economic indicators query or table, grab country name, and then let's also grab the population implicit measure. So there is something really important here to be aware. We are looking at countries here. We want to visualize countries. But as you can see here, the whole world information here, we also have other information that's not relevant for our exercise. The IBRD only, upper middle income, and then we can keep going. So the point is we can perform additional transformations to remove these pieces that are not specifically countries. The first four, at least, they are not countries. North America, this is region or continent. We also have the Arab world. We need to remove this. So let's do this quickly. If we go back to Power Query, let's hit Transform Data. And then let's go over the economic indicators query. And remember, we have the steps here recorded on the right side. There is an option here called Filter Rows. Let's go back over there, and then let's start making the additional changes. So world, before we do that, let's load more. So we want to make sure that we're visualizing everything, every single country that is there in the visual. So world, we need to uncheck world. We don't care about world. IBRD only. What is IBRD only? Should be this one right here. Let's uncheck this. Upper middle income. Scroll down, upper. So right there, we need to uncheck that. OECD members. Let's uncheck this. And then we have North America. This is a continent. What is North America? So let's uncheck this. What else do we have? The Arab world. Let's uncheck this. And I believe we are good to go. And let's hit OK. If we go back over here to the last, and then close and apply. And let's see if this changes the visual. Hopefully that is the case. So it's loading, and fingers crossed. This looks so much better. And then you can start also customizing this visual. You can add labels if you want, data labels. As you can see, we're almost done. We have a few more tasks to perform. The next one is going to be to create a line chart for each additional economic indicator. We need to insert also slicers, country and date. And then we also have to perform a few best practices. So before we do these two, let's actually resize our canvas. How do we do this? Click on the canvas, go to canvas settings, and then custom. The height is going to be 1064 pixels, and then the width 1478, and this should be good. So it's always better to customize your canvas, so in that way you have more space to allocate your visuals. So now let's keep adding the indicator visuals. So it's going to be line charts, you remember that? So we have here this, and let's actually do this right here, like this, and then the indicators at the bottom. Okay, so we can resize this later, so it's not a big deal. And right here, let's remove country, and then let's add actually date over here. And then for this one, let's use cluster column chart. So this looks fine so far. And then for the indicators, something very similar. Let's start with GDP, and then let's grab here date over here. So now, as you can see, we are seeing a trend, so which is good. Remember, here we are using implicit measures. So if we go over here, we are just summing GDP. We can have the average as well, so it's right there. So let's make a copy, and then here, instead of GDP, we're going to be using the other metric, inflation. For inflation, let's select average as well. And then we can keep going, Control C, Control V. And then let's keep going here. Let's select life expectancy. And again, life expectancy. This should be average. Control C, Control V. And then here, let's select the other indicator, electricity rate. This can be an average as well. Unemployment, really important metric as well. And again, this should be average. Perfect. This is looking good. And then also we need to add a couple of slicers. Let's do this, just the traditional slicer right here. And let's add this at the top. Should be country. And then we can also make a couple changes here. Just drop down and we can select any country. Since this is text, so we can also click right here, search. By doing that, you can search here a specific country. Peru, for example, is going to be there. And then everything should be changing dynamically. Control C, Control V. And then let's add here also date. And then we can also change the format here if we want. Short date. So this looks so much better. But again, we can make changes here. We care about years here actually, to filter by years. But we can make the adjustments later. And then you can start also adding the name of your report. Insert right here, text. You can put this right here. And then you can name your report World Economy, for example. Select this, customize this. I don't think it matters for now, just for the exercise. 14 or 16, whatever you want to do it. Remember, this is just the beginning. The idea is to keep customizing this report, and then when the mentorship program is over, you're gonna have a beautiful, insightful Power BI report. My friends, this is it for the first week. Please stay tuned. We're gonna cover week 2 in our next session.